Class notes and examples for solving rational expressions. In our first example, we have solve 10 over x minus 8 is equal to 5. Well, again, we have to know what the common denominator is for this. We have x plus 8 as our denominator here. And then, of course, if we turn the 5 into a fraction, we'd have 5 over 1, which will have a 1 in our denominator. So our LCD is multiplying the two denominators together, which will give us back the x minus 8. We take x minus 8, which is our LCD, and multiply it by each one of the terms. Therefore, when we multiply it, we cancel out x minus 8 over here. So we have left over 10 is equal to 5 times x minus 8. We can solve this for x by dividing off our 5 here, and then we will get 2 is equal to x minus 8. We add our 8 on both sides to get 10 is equal to x. We can also check our answer by taking 10 and substituting it back into our original equation to make sure that we get 5. So if we substitute 10 in here, we get 10 minus 8, which will give us 10 over 2, which reduces to 5 or simplifies to 5. In another example, we have 5 over x plus 1 is equal to 3 minus 7 over x plus 1. Well, again, we have denominators that are the same here, x plus 1. And of course, the denominator for 3 would be 1. By multiplying x plus 1 times 1, we get the LCD of x plus 1, which we take and multiply by each one of the terms. And when we do that, we can start our cancellation of the x plus 1 in the first, on the left side, and that leaves us with 5. We could distribute for our second term x plus 1 times 3, which will give us 3x plus 3. And then in our last term, we cancel out the x plus 1, which leaves us with minus 7. So combining our like terms, we get 5 is equal to 3x minus 4. Then add our 4 on both sides of the equation to get 9 is equal to 3x. Then divide your 3 on both sides of the equation to get x is equal to 3. In another example here, we have different denominators this time. We have x plus 3 and x minus 5, and we want to solve this for x. So we have to find that LCD first. Again, the LCD is taken by multiplying the two denominators together, or the two expressions together. So we have the x plus 3 expression times x minus 5, which will become our LCD. We take that LCD and multiply it by each one of the terms. So we multiply it by 12, the 12 over x plus 3, and we multiply it on the other side as well. We get the x plus 3 to cancel over here, leaving us with 12 times x minus 5. And then on this side, we get the x minus 5 to cancel out, leaving us with x plus 3 times 7. So 12 times x minus 5 is equal to 7 times x plus 3. We can do our distribution to get 12x minus 60 is equal to 7x plus 21. Simplify our x term by moving our 7x over to the left by subtracting on both sides to get 5x minus 60 is equal to 21. And then add our 60 on both sides of the equation to get 5x is equal to 81, and then divide off your 5 on both sides of the equation to get 81 over 5, or as a decimal, approximately 16.2. And another example, increasing the level of difficulty, we have 3 over a plus 2 plus 5a over a minus 3 is equal to 75 over a squared minus a minus 6. What we have to do is we have to factor out the a squared minus a minus 6. And once we do that, we find that we have the same factors as the denominators in the other two. So a plus 2 times a minus 3 is our LCD. And we multiply that. We could either multiply the LCD by each one of the terms and then cancel like we did earlier, or what we can do is we can multiply each one of the terms by whatever is missing in the denominator from the LCD. So for example, in our first term, we have a minus 3, which was the missing part in our LCD. So that way the a plus 2 canceled itself out. And again, multiplying the second term by what was missing, which is the a plus 2. And after the equal sign, that already contained the common denominator, so we don't have to multiply that by anything. So we could either go this way, or we can just go and multiply each term by the LCD like we did in the last example. We do our distribution, continuing our problem. So we have the a minus 3 times 3, and then the plus the 5a times a plus 2. We do our distribution, combine our like terms, and then we write the result in standard form of a quadratic by subtracting our 75 on both sides to get 5a squared plus 13a minus 84 is equal to 0, where our a is, we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. So our a is 5, the b is 13, and c is negative 84. And using the quadratic formula, we substitute everything into its proper place. And 13 squared gives us 169. And then we have negative 4 times 5 times negative 84, which gives us 1680. And as we can see, the result here, negative 13 plus or minus the square root of 1849 over 10. Square root of 1849 is 43. So we write our equation as our plus and minus separately, so we can get our results separately. So a turns out to be 3. And on the other side, a is approximately equal to negative 5.6. In the last example, I have a work problem where Jim can paint a house in 30 hours, Mary can paint the same house in 24 hours. And then we want to know how long would it take for them to paint the house together. Well, that becomes a rational problem here, where we take the 30 hours, becomes 1 over 30. We add it to the 1 over 24 hours is equal to 1 over the time. Work problems become a rational problem. So to find our common denominator,